14th verse, chapter 5. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhu na karma phala sanyogam swabhavastu pravartate. When you think about actions, the actions that we do in life, right? First it starts with actions, and then that leads to a sense of ownership that I am doing this action. Sense of ownership leads to fruits. So that action leads to fruits which is either positive or negative. The original ownership now starts taking the fruits. I did it and I get this. If it happened well. I did it and I messed up. Both. So that ownership of that action resulted in ownership of the fruits also. Kartrutvam. Kartrutvam means ownership. Karma is action. Karta is the one who does the action. Kartrutvam is the ownership of that action being performed by that karta, the owner. For that pure Atman that sits inside us, which is our own identity, there is no such thing like actions in the first place. Na kartrutvam, na karmani. Na is a negation. There is neither actions nor ownership to that Prabhu. Srujati Prabhu. Prabhu is that Atman. That Atman inside us is beyond any materialistic things around, which is this body. Actions are born out of this body, this mind. This mind drives us towards many things, and that's how we end up doing actions. Isn't it? Can there be any action if there is no mind and body? There is no mind and body, but there is still action. There cannot be. Right? So that is where that Atman is outside of mind and body. And so that cannot take any ownership for actions or ownership for results. And if the person who identifies oneself with that Atman cannot be responsible for any actions or any results. Na karma phala sanyogam. Phala sanyogam is the attachment to the results. You do an action, you take the ownership, you get the fruits and say that this fruit belongs to me is one thing. Having an attachment to that fruit is another thing, right? Karma phala sanyogam is attachment towards that fruit. That also is not originating from that Atman. Neither the action, nor the ownership, nor the fruits of the action, nor the attachment towards the action, nor the attachment towards the fruits. All these are play of the mind and the body, is what in this shloka Krishna is trying to tell us. These are nothing to do with our true identity, which is our own Atman, which is us. Why then we experience so much of ownership within ourselves? Whenever we do something, we accomplish something, we do, we walk, we speak, we eat, we engage ourselves into multiple actions. One thing is, we know that we are doing it. I am doing it. I'm involved. I'm engaged. I'm performing. I'm eating. I'm experiencing. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm so that I feeling that experiencing, I am experiencing it, right? So that is inseparable. Even though our Atman is beyond anything. Why is it that happens? If this is true, if it is true that we are Atman, formless Atman, we are beyond mind and body. If our identity is beyond mind and body, why then we feel always that I'm doing, I'm breathing, I'm eating, I'm sleeping, it should be like this body is doing something, this mind is thinking something. Naturally we all should be realized. Naturally we should have the distance or not having any attachment. Why is it that we conversely have so much of attachment towards actions, so much of attachment towards the ownership and the fruits? Why is this creation, and why go through all this trouble? Why go through so much of things? Why? Right? That is our question. Second part of it answers that swabhavastu pravartate. All these are because of the swabhavam. Swabhavam is the nature. The nature of this body and the mind causes the confusion. The confusion in each one of us, that this body is me, this mind is me, I am doing things, I am speaking, I did something good, I did something bad, I am owner of this. Where is this all arising from? Have you ever wondered? Why is it that naturally if all things are true about Atman, and body and Atman are different, and we always are the Atman, where else? I didn't acquire it. Where is it originating from? Now, swabhavastu pravartate. Very nature of this body is to delude. Body and the mind is to delude, to confuse us with our own identity. That's the very nature of this. So much attached to it that we want to let it go. We have taken ownership of this body. Even though it is just given to us, we assumed that it is us. These are tools that are given to us. That is how we should have originally been looking at these things. Nobody thinks that the tool is me. A car is given to us. A car is a tool to go from place to place. We get into a car and we drive. We drive, and people who our friends are standing out on the roadside, and then they are observing us drive by, and they say that my friend is driving there. Of course, yes. But once we reach the destination, we will park the car and we will step out. We will never say that I am the car. I will take the car everywhere I go. And we will never say that I am the car. Right? Car is just a tool that we carry with us. Likewise, our body and mind should have been originally seen as tools by us. Then we would have always been situated in that Atman, established in that Atman, impartially, without attaching to any of the actions, because actions are not born out of that Atman. Actions are born out of the body and the mind. Right? So that is because of the very nature of the body and the mind to give ourselves an identity that is attached to the body and mind. That is the very reason. So that is the point that he is trying to clarify here. Nakartrutvam, neither the ownership, na karmani, nor the actions, lokasya srujati prabhu, are created or originated from that Atman. Na karma phala sanyogam, nor the attachment that you have towards the fruits are originating from that Atman. Then where else? Swabhavastu pravartate. The material nature of this body and the mind is made up of such kind of material that we start to assume our own identity as this body. That is by design. And we'll have to overcome that, break that pattern. 15th verse. Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhuhu ajnanenavritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. Clarifies the earlier point even more. Nadatte na adatte. Na adatte means that Atman never accepts any good karmas or bad karmas. He is not responsible for any actions. Neither accepts any good karma, not bad karma. Kasya chit papam, of anyone for that matter. Papam, bad karma, bad deeds. Nachaiva sukritam, sukritam, good deeds. Vibhuhu, vibhuhu is that Atman. So that Atman never accepts anyone's good deeds or bad deeds. So with this body and mind we do actions and we take ownership and we do some good deeds also. We do some bad deeds also. Good deeds results in good fruits and we take ownership of it. And then we go around telling and announcing people that I am the one who did it. I am the one who can do all these good deeds, right? I am a good person. I don't involve myself in bad things. We keep saying all those things, still with an incorrect assumption that I did it. I am a good person. That is also not correct. Even though we are involved in the right path, doing the right things, getting the right good fruits which that reaches others, still Atman is totally nothing to do with goodness or badness. Sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanenavritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavah. But what then is that Atman? That Atman is pure intelligence. Pure intelligence, jnanam. So that's what it says, jnanam. That is only intelligence personified. Intelligence not about the worldly things, that also, but intelligence about the unity with God. Consciousness about the Brahman. Consciousness about the supreme entity. What is the relationship of this organism or this Atman with that supreme? What is the purpose, whatever that we have been asking about? That knows it. That Atman is purely that intelligence personified. And what happens? Ajnanena vritam. That intelligence is covered by ignorance. Ajnana. Ajnanena avritam. Avritam is to cover the intelligence. So the intelligence is there and that is covered by ignorance. And that ignorance covers the intelligence. Tena muhyanti jantavaha. Because of that, jantavaha, the living entities, the living beings like us, are deluded, confused. So isn't it so clear that why we go through so many circus in life? Doesn't it give an answer to why most of us are not able to understand what is happening in life as much as we try to analyze? Many people don't even care. They just go through the flow. They don't try to sit back and relax and think as to why things are happening the way it is happening. But for those few of us who indeed stop, take a break, question ourselves as to what really is happening in life. Let me just stop and then observe things. Is it the way that it has to happen? Why it is happening the way it is happening? This verse gives an answer, that the intelligence inside us is asking the question why. Because otherwise, if there is everything is ignorance, if everything is covered by ignorance, then no one will ask any question. That ignorance will keep going on and on and on. No one is going to stop. But little bit of intelligence is speaking out. That is the reason that we are asking the question, why things are happening to me? What is life? What is this whole thing? What is God? Who am I? All the questions. That is because of a little bit of that intelligence is, you cannot control it. It will emerge. The intelligence will emerge. Just like how sunlight, sun is always there, that we all know. But still, we think that in the evening around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, sun leaves. Sun says good night and it leaves. It doesn't leave anywhere. Sun is always there where it is. It is just that our mind is deluded because of the spin of the earth. Sun goes to the other side of the earth, and now we are facing the space. Sun is the other side, and there are people who are experiencing the sunlight, but still our mind knows it, but still we think somehow that sun is not there. Same way, the intelligence is always there inside, and that is just lighting our existence all the time. Every once in a while it just peaks, but still we have accumulated so much of ignorance that it is covering its intelligence, and we are not able to think. We are just deluded. We are back and forth going and thinking that, okay, my body and mind are the only thing that exists. My intelligence deep inside, that Atman, that Jnanam, we are not able to appreciate that clearly. That is the primary cause for confusion in life, primarily. Is the 15th verse. 16th verse says that Jnanena tu tata jnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Jnanena tu tata jnanam. So, to those souls in this world, those souls who have destroyed that shield of ignorance. In the previous verse, he talked about a cloud of ignorance surrounding the intelligent Atman. Just like how cloud in the sky surrounds the earth at times and prevents sunlight from entering the earth. Same way, our intelligence is clouded by ignorance, not letting that inner intelligence shine through. That is why most of us are the way we are, not understanding anything, not figuring out how things are. But yogis whose intelligence is already shining through, uninhibited, without getting blocked, without getting shielded by any ignorance, they walk freely on this earth because their intelligence is not stopped, it's unstoppable. Their pure Atman is shining through. But for most of us, it is still clouded by ignorance. And for people who have destroyed that shield, is the yogi or the rishis. In fact, we all can also be that when we practice the karma yoga. So those who have practiced the karma yoga and have gotten to the stage where they have destroyed that shield of ignorance, then to those people, adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam, that inner Atman shines as bright as the sun. Adityavajnanam. Aditya, we all know it is Surya Deva. Just like how bright Surya Deva is, that much brightness this Atman can radiate itself to those people who have broken the barriers, to those souls who have destroyed that shield of ignorance, cover of ignorance. So we all wanted to appreciate it and aware of that ignorant shield around the intelligence, and think that is when we can think about how we can get rid of that ignorance around the intelligence. Because the first requirement in this is to admit that there is deep inside unlimited intelligence. That is the first requirement. If we keep thinking that I am who I am a dull, I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert, whatever definitions that we keep giving to ourselves, and that is what I am. Whatever that we think that is what I am, that is not us, because that is this play of the body and the mind. That is not us, right? Why any definition that we give will not suit that super intelligent Atman. But any definition that we give suits exactly the mind and the body. But mind and body are not us. That is why the previous sloka he put it very clearly that these are the nature of the mind and the body. But the inner Atman is nothing to do with that. So first thing is to accept that intelligence. Second thing is to accept there is a shield of ignorance around that intelligence. Third, naturally we will start thinking about how to come out of that shield, how to break that shield. First two requirements are must. Unless we accept these two, third will not happen. If third doesn't happen, then there is no escape, there is no path, no way out. We will be trapped inside that bubble of ignorance and we'll stay trapped inside until the lifetime. And again next birth. Again we stay trapped. Again the journey goes on and on and on and on and on without any end. Maybe in some births probably we'll get smarter and then be born as a prince or whatnot, wealthy, enjoying all the luxuries. But again, it is just 4 or 5 births in millions of births. It doesn't add up, right? If every birth I'm going to be born as a prince, royal, enjoy all the wealth, then of course I won't have to worry about it. But there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that one will be born as a human in the next birth. Right? One can be born as any being. So then why go through that is the question that yogis ask. This seems to be a pattern. Wait a minute. Let me put a full stop to it. That is how they think. And that leads them to more research about their own body, mind and Atman. Self-realization is about self-journey on investigating our own body, mind and soul. That naturally will lead to devotion. The first step is to be aware, and then the body, mind and soul investigation will lead to jnanam, and that jnanam will pave the way for devotion. Bhakti will naturally happen. Otherwise, all other bhakti without jnanam is fake bhakti. Out of fear, many people will undergo many kind of rituals. Like, I don't want to earn any dosham, if you have heard that word. Quite a few times I heard in my life that dosham, I don't want to get any dosham. Out of fear that we all are devoted. We want to do something because I don't want to earn the wrath of God. As if like God is like looking at everyone, are you following my rules, policies? If not, I will throw my anger at you. If God is not grace personified, and if his God is also susceptible for anger, then what is the difference between us and him? Right? But we learned that maybe from generations above, that if you do not do something the right way, if you do not follow this, then God will be mad at you. That is there for a reason. People have told that for a reason, so that people behave. And society doesn't degenerate. But we are far away from that. We are matured. We are now civilized. We will not go into the path of degeneration. But people who are in the path of spirituality should not adopt that fear as the motivation for worshipping. The devotion has to be natural. Children also, if you observe, the more we force them that you have to get the devotion somehow, they will lose interest in that. You'll have to let them go with that natural progression. Introduce them. If you are naturally interested, they will grab it. They will get hold of it, and then they will make their own progress. And whichever way they do it, they will evolve in that way. We can just nudge, but cannot force down their throat. Then that will lead to negative effect. I don't even want any more God. I hate, because I have been pushed, especially this generation. Right? So that natural progression will come when jnanam increases, ajnanam leaves. Walk into a room. You walk into a room, it's dark, right? You return home, let's say late in the night. No one is there at home. You switched off all lights before leaving, and you return home. It's so dark. The moment you switch on the light, what happens? Just think about it. Light enters the room, darkness goes away, right? This is just almost like a flip. We cannot say when the darkness left, when the light arrived. It's instantaneous. So that is how that ajnanam that we have will leave when jnanam enters. Right? When the light illumines, the ajnanam is gone. But we should, it's not like turning on the switch just once and then it has to be an effort. Some effort needs to be there by that individual to switch on the light. At least accept that there is a light inside, and that light is now not turned on. It is there, feeble. Somehow I should get rid of that ajnanam. That is when the jnanam will. So that is the very thing that is happening with the yogis. Jnanena tu tat ajnanam. With jnanam, that ajnanam should be burnt, destroyed. Then adityavat jnanam, inner jnanam will shine as bright as the Surya Deva. Prakashayati tatparam. It illumines the entire existence, is the meaning of this verse. That is 16. Let's move on to the next verses. Tad buddhayas tadatmanas tannishtas tatparayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. That soul which is clear of any delusions, confusions in the mind, with oneness in intelligence, in the buddhi, tad buddhayas tadatmanah, with oneness in mind, intellect and atman, meditates upon the self, just rests there without thinking about external attachments, pleasures. One that just stays within itself, uses its brain to think about the Atman, uses its mind to meditate upon that Atman, and that Atman stays within that Atman. Tad buddhayas tad atmanas tannishtas tatparayana, and takes refuge within that Atman itself. There is nothing else. There is nothing else but mind, intellect, body, everything takes refuge in that Atman, which is the supreme abode of intelligence. Then gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Gacchanti, that Atman will reach apuna avrittim, to a place of no return. Once that light is turned on by this yoga, this is almost like a yoga, practicing the karma yoga slowly will make the mind, intellect and this body dwell in that Atman. Right now, mind, body and intellect are not dwelling in Atman for any one of us. Mind is dwelling elsewhere, on all things outside. My name, fame, others' criticism, or others' praise about me, or honor, or insults. Mind is dwelling elsewhere. Body, in the meantime, dwells in different things. What food enjoy, some right, whatever pleasures that this body can derive. Intellect, on the other hand, dwells totally in different direction. How can I make money? How can I make this, make that, create this, create that? How can I about this material existence? We are using the intelligence very well. They're all external driven. If you look at it, mind, body and intellect, it's all externally going out. They're all going out to get attached themselves with the external objects in this world. But spirituality is all about the opposite. Pull back mind, pull back intellect, pull back the body and put everything inside and let all three dwell in the Atman. That is, and takes that as the refuge, to that person, that soul goes to a place of no return. That soul will never return to the earth, being born on this earth. That soul is already liberated from this birth death cycle. Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Their intelligence is not deluded at all by any types of confusion. Those who are able to control and let their body, mind, and intellect dwell in that Atman. And it's not going to happen right away, we know that. It's easy to say that to control mind and body and to pull out from external thing and to meditate upon the Atman is not something that is easy for any one of us. That is where Karma Yoga prepares anyone to go towards that path. Karma Yoga again is not going to prepare, it may or may not give the results immediately. Again, if we expect the results in the Karma Yoga, oh, I practiced Karma Yoga for 6 years, nothing seems to be happening. Then again, we are hankering towards, we didn't practice correctly then, right? Because practice Karma Yoga and then expect a result, it defeats the very purpose of Karma Yoga. Definition of Karma Yoga. Definition of Karma Yoga is do things, don't even mind about the results, outcome of it, why I am not getting any results. That is for physical things. If you do some workouts, you check back and see that if your weight is reduced, weight loss workouts, let's say, weight is reduced. That is for physical, earthly things. Outcomes or results should be monitored and then you adapt yourself. But in terms of effect of Karma Yoga, that has that super entity called super soul that we call God has to be graceful enough to give it to us. He knows when to do that. All we need to do is practice the philosophy of Karma Yoga, which is to keep practicing Krishnarpanamastu in anything that we do. Eating, sleeping, breathing, walking, talking, we offer to Krishna. So the moment we start doing that, we will not talk nonsense. The moment we say every few words and then in our mind say Krishnarpanamastu, we will stop talking nonsense. We will stop talking bad about others because the conscience will stop us from saying anything wrong about others. The moment, because we have been used to saying Krishnarpanamastu, we are offering anything that we say to Krishna. We wanted to offer only the best things naturally, right? So naturally, you don't want to. We will naturally be aware of our own words and cut down on words that is not appropriate. That is true with eating also. Everything that we eat, let's say we say Krishnarpanamastu with awareness. We will not eat indiscriminately, right? We will not eat anything and everything that we find. We will slowly reduce it. Oh, I'm offering this to Krishna, let it be good food. So naturally we will build the control. And while speaking to others, that is true. We will make sure that we would not hurt them. And while we listen to anything, by saying Krishnarpanamastu, we won't be bothered with their words if they are hurting. That is, the other person is using poisonous, hurtful words. Naturally, we are preparing our mind to accept it without any reactions to it. So we prepare slowly our mind by offering everything to Krishna. Right? So that is how we program our mind for this state. Slowly, as we program our mind by practicing the Karma Yoga, by saying Krishnarpanamastu, we are walking that path which will lead to a state where The body, the mind, and the intellect are now totally aligned slowly, eventually. And then they all now will start pulling out at one point. It varies from people to people again, right? We know it depends on the uh, intensity with which we practice, we believe, we internalize the belief. Everything matters. And then this state is reached where Gacchantya Punaravritim, that soul naturally is detached from this material existence and reaches a place where there is no return. Doesn't have to return to this material world, is the meaning of this 18th verse. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shvapake Cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. What will happen if we reach that state where my body, mind, and intellect are all aligned and just dwells in my Atman, and that person is liberated? Now what is what we'll know, right? That person starts having a vision, which is Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini. That person has a vision which cannot differentiate between a Brahmana, an elephant, cow, a dog, or a dog eater, or a very well learned person. They cannot differentiate between, they treat all of them equally, is the meaning of that. So once that mind, once the Atman reaches that state, then they become having a equanimous vision across all people in the society. Because there are few words that are used here, like Gavi, elephant, Hastini, Gavi, Hastini. Gavi is cow, Hastini, an elephant, and then Shuni, a dog, Shwapake is a dog eater, and a Brahmana and an intelligent person. They do not know any difference between all this. Dog, we know that a dog is for a four-legged animal, a friend of a human, right? And we have admiration towards it, pet. But there are some animals we will not keep as pets. So there is a differentiation that we see. For example, nobody has an elephant as their pet. That's why here in this case, Hastini and Shuni both are being referred. So this person who has accomplished, who has reached the state where he can see everything as one and the same. An elephant and a dog will not make any difference to him. That doesn't mean that he will keep elephant as his pet, but there is nothing like this is okay, that is not okay. That is what it means. And then cow gives milk, so I wanted it. But a dog doesn't give anything, so I don't want it. There are some people who might want to have cows as their family animal, their farm animal, and not dogs. That is because cows give milk. So that kind of differentiation exists only with people who have not attained the level of unity within themselves. Now, people who have attained unity with the Atman, they will see everything as equal. Swapakecha. people who eat dog meat and people who do not eat any meat at all, Brahmana. I mean, here the Brahmana means those who do not eat anything, those who do not hurt any animals. That is what it means. Not all Brahmanas who eat meat also are grouped under that. I exclude this, clearly excludes those people as Brahmanas. The Brahmana in this is nothing to do with any caste or anything, but it is referred to those people who do not hurt others by either eating any animals or hurting others through their words or physically. That is what is referred to as Brahmana here. Or people who eat dog food. Both are equal in this person's eyes. So a diametrically opposite societal structure, or people and animals drawn from different segments of the society, they all will look similar to this person. There's no difference at all. That is the state this person will be. He will not do anything just because he gets good from these people. He will not stop, he or she will not stop from doing anything because it will harm him or her. They will do it because that is the right thing to do. That is the state they have reached. Samadarshinaha. Samadarshinaha is a person with an equal vision across all in the society. With that, we'll stop here. We'll continue next week. Shriyah Kantaya Kalyana Nidhaye Nidayettina Shri Venkata Nivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam. Sarvam Sri Krishnarpanamastu.